Welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. I am delighted to welcome Marco from Italian Football TV onto the channel for his debut. Marco has followed the career of Antonio Conte really closely, so I thought it would be great if we could have a chat with him and find out his thoughts on what the future could hold for Chelsea Football Club. Marco, lovely to welcome you on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here and to talk about a coach that I've really followed closely, and I'm excited to see.
Now, wonderful. So, I suppose the question that I want to ask you, I'm sorry to put you on the spot immediately, is Antonio Conte going to be a success at Chelsea Football Club?
I followed closely. I followed Conte closely, like I said, and I think Conte is a type of guy that you put him in any situation, and he'll come out a winner. It's been said by a few players and journalists the same thing. I think he's just got that mentality that winners have. And I think Chelsea, the environment that Chelsea has, is going to be the right place for him to succeed in.
Oh, wonderful. That is music to my ears. Is there anything in particular, anything that you've noticed about his coaching methods, his approach, his personality, perhaps, that make him such a winner and make him so perfect for the Premier League?
I mean, Conte, he's a bit of a psychopath almost because he's crazy in his work ethic. He pushes a lot on, rather than just the skill of the players, he focuses on players who give their all for the team, who spit blood in his words. He's very big on motivation and getting the most out of his players. And he's done very well at making players who were average at other teams become very great and playing as a whole.
That could be very handy for Chelsea considering the season that we've had. So
Yeah.
you think that this is a good appointment? You think Abramovich may have got this one correct?
Oh man, it was dragged out a lot. It was not a secret, and I was so excited the entire time. I was hoping another Italian manager in Italy. When Ancelotti was at Chelsea, I followed them a lot, and Di Matteo. And I do think that Abramovich got this right. I think it's going to be so exciting to watch, and you have another fan that's going to watch Chelsea so much. I'm excited to follow them closely,
Really?
especially next year.
Oh, great. Well, welcome. What is it about Conte that you think is going to make him so suited to Chelsea Football Club?
Well, I'll tell you a little story. When I'm a Juventus fan. I love Italian football as a whole. When Juventus were doing very poorly, they hired Conte. And honestly, I didn't know much about him. I never saw him playing because a little bit young out of his age. And I wasn't excited when Juventus signed him. I didn't know much about him. My dad told me, listen, I've seen this guy as a player. He's done well in Serie B. And then I went to Philadelphia when the team came here in Conte's first season, and it completely changed my view of who Antonio Conte is. I noticed what a crazy work ethic he has and what the trainings he does to his team are. We were in Philadelphia, and it was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it's like 30 degrees Celsius. He was making these players run half field, full field in 10 seconds, and then to come back. He's insane. And they were doing it for, I think, 90 minutes.
Wow.
And funny enough, there was Luca Toni, one of the players who did well at Juventus the previous year, and he was complaining about the running. Luca Toni is the type that he just stands there a lot. And Conte screamed at Luca Toni when he was arguing, like, oh, I don't want to run anymore. And I realized that this guy is not going to take anything from anyone.
Oh, right. So that's very interesting because obviously at Chelsea at the moment, we have a few players, and I think this is fair to say, haven't pulled their weight this season. How do you think Conte will react to players? I think the obvious case is Eden Hazard. Do you think that Eden Hazard would get away with another year like he's had under Conte?
Absolutely not. If we look at Milos Krasic, I don't know if you remember him. He was Juve's best player at one time when Juve was doing very bad. And everyone was obsessed with him. Juventus fans, he was the only bright spot of the team. Krasic at Juventus did not want to work. He didn't want to run. He did not want to listen to Conte. And he was the best player the previous year. Conte had none of it. He played Simone Pepe, a few young guys, Este Garibia, who's a player who's playing in second division, Giaccherini, who was playing in third division a few years ago. He doesn't accept, no matter what kind of player you are, no matter the skill you have, if you're not trying your hardest, Conte's the type that he won't take it.
Okay, so potentially a few could leave Chelsea.
I mean, I don't know how it'll work out. Maybe it'll work with Eden Hazard through preseason or whatever. But I think that preseason is going to be a crucial time for Conte to see what he has, what Hazard, if they fit together, if his work ethic fits with Conte's system. and the.
Right. And a player who I love dearly and I'm dreading potentially leaving Stamford Bridge, is Diego Costa. Diego Costa has such an edge, but I think that's wonderful, and I think that is often the hallmark of a fantastic football player. Do you think that a manager like Conte will appreciate Costa's physicality?
I absolutely do. Diego Costa is one of the type that I would classify as a Conte type player. Of course, there's a lot of factors that go into that, but I do think that Diego Costa has that fight in him. That I've watched him play. He chases down the defenders, and those are the kind of players that Conte likes. So I think if he does listen to him, if they get along well, he's definitely got the right attitude to fit into Conte's system.
Okay, this is all really good news. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. So you think that Conte has the minerals to be a success in the Premier League?
I absolutely do. I know the Premier League's very different than it is in Italy, and Conte now he's got maybe a little bit of a bad reputation. There's a lot of talk about him. Juventus fans after he left are a little bit split on him, but I think that, like I said before, Conte's a type. He goes somewhere. He's not trying to settle for average. This guy wants to win. He always wants to win, and I think that he will do well at Chelsea.
That's really good to hear. There's something interesting that you just touched on there. Did you suggest that Juve fans don't look back on him particularly fondly? Do they not hold him in high regard at the moment?
Unfortunately not. There's almost a big split between Juventus fans because of the way that he left. It was a bit dramatic, if you remember his situation. Even when they hired Max Allegri, who's done fantastic for Juventus now, when they first got rid of Conte and hired Allegri, they were boycotting Allegri, throwing rocks at the bus, saying we don't want you, because Juve fans became very, very, very attached to Conte. He's the type that he riles you up, and you could fall in love with when he's coaching your team, And when he left, there was a lot of drama, and looking back on it, there are some Juventus fans who don't like how he left with the club.
Right, okay. And what about, just briefly, with regard to the national team? I know that it's a different game, international football, but would you say that fans of the Italian national team are happy with Conte at the moment?
Again, it's a little bit... you're always going to have fans that not everyone will agree on the same thing.
Of course, yeah.
But there is a lot of people who think that he took the national team job too quickly. Conte, in the past, he even said that why he's leaving the team is because he wants to work every day with the players. And Conte is a type that he gets the most out of his players when he sees them day in and day out. And, he's going months without working, without seeing the players. Maybe it was too much too soon. But for me, honestly, as an Italian fan, I think he's done well. Hasn't been the best, but we've gotten results. And I like that he wants to play against the bigger teams, the Spain, and we lost the last friendly. But he says, listen, why are we going to play against a bad team? He said, I'd rather play a big team, lose, and try out the players, than play a smaller team in a friendly, So I like his mentality.
Yeah. His system, he's got a very fluid system, hasn't he? He's happy to go 3 at the back, generally goes 2 up front. Would you agree with that? Is that how he likes to play? This
is another, I think, misconception that we've seen with Conte too. When I watched him practice, his preferred formation was, when he came to Juventus, was a 4-2-4, variation of a 4-4-2. He was stressing that the 2 wingers, the top 4, they crossed the ball in, and one cuts and one would cross. And he would always stress to get the ball out wide to them.
Right.
And then, Juventus got Vidal. This was before Juventus got Vidal.
Yeah.
So he got Vidal, and even in the first friendly or two, he tried to play Vidal out wide in that 4-2-4, but it didn't work. And he realized to change the system. He also had Barzagli, Bonucci, and Chiellini, 3 fantastic center backs, who he couldn't put one on the bench, to use a 4-man defense. Yeah. So I think that's another positive to Conte. He adapted a system that he really wanted, a 4-2-4. He was thinking about using a 4-2-4. He got different players. He changed the system. And he made a formation, a 3-5-2, which it's done before, but it was never, I think, perfected as much as Conte made it. And then we see in the Serie A, there's still teams who use a 3-5-2 because of how well Conte did with it.
That is so good to hear. I love the idea of having a pragmatic manager, because we've actually been in a system now. We've played the same way for about 5 years, and although it served us very well, I think we really do need to adapt, and it's time to have a bit of a clear out and play a different formation. And it's lovely to hear that we have a manager coming in who is happy to, like, you know, roll with the punches and adapt as necessary.
No, absolutely. Conte in the past, he said that I think he relates his work to that of a tailor, who he says you have to make the suit out of the material that you have, which I think is what a coach needs, and he's done that well. He hasn't been so stubborn on his formation. He's done what fits the players best and what gets the results at the end of the day. Because, you know, the formations, we could keep talking about them, 4-2-4, 4-4-2, 3-5-2. Listen, he got the formation. He won the matches. Juventus won the championships, you know? That's what matters at the end of the day.
Lovely. Do you know what, Marco? I'm so grateful for you joining us. I think that you have a wonderful channel. Tell our viewers, if they want to hear more from you, where to come and what they'll see there.
Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at MarcoCalcio22, but I also have a YouTube channel for Italian football fans who speak English. It's Italian Football TV. Anyone who's a fan of Serie A or Italian football in general, or who just wants to learn more about the game, you can follow us on Twitter, do some fun on YouTube. We do some fun stuff over there, and we're getting into doing news every day and making videos every day.
Lovely. Make sure you subscribe to them. It really is a great channel. I love checking it out. Thank you so much for joining us. And guys, make sure you comment below. Let us know what you think of the points raised today. Go on, you Blues.
Ciao.
All right, guys, welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. Now, we have been having a good chat with our dear friends over at Squawka, and we have concluded that if Chelsea keep our goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois, and our striker, Diego Costa, the position in the field that needs the most replenishment is the central midfield.